just listen. Yan, sinare ko na sa inyo yung slides. Then, I'll emphasize the important things dun sa slide. Analyze natin. Although surgery to, maraming technical terms dito, pero I'll make it understandable for you. Ganito lang talaga ang composition nyo. Tatlo lang ang boys. Kayong tatlo lang. O apat lang kayo sa class. Dami yung pagpipilian na girls, oh. Pati sa ibang classes, ganun ang proportion. Yung mga boys ayaw na mag-medicine. Okay, let's start that. Delete na tayo ng 30 minutes. So, I sent a copy to Carla. Oh, nakuha niyo na yung PowerPoint. Sinashare na sa inyo. You got it? Then, meron tayong dalawang intermission to rest your brain. Dalalang ko ang attention span ng medical student, 30 minutes lang eh. So, magre-rest muna tayo after 30 minutes. Yeah. Then may quiz tayo at the end of the lecture. It's a 6-point quiz. Kaso ang gagawin natin quiz yung manual pa eh. Papaturo ko sa inyo paano ginagawa. Paano gagawin yung Google quiz. Okay. Oh, may kopya na kayo? Okay, let's start. Sino teacher niyo sa anatomy? Si Dr. Vivar ba? Dr. Vivar? Inabutan niyo? So the function of the stomach is to convert food into kain. Of course, mechanical digestion occurs sa mouth, sa oral cavity. That's why we chew it. Tapos pagdating sa stomach, it's converted to kain. The stomach is divided into 4 parts. Nakasulat siyan. And if you would remember, naturo na sa inyo to yung 9 regions of the abdomen. Tandaan nyo to. If ever a patient would complain of anything referable to stomach, ano sa Tagalog yun? Pupunta sa ER, sinisikmura. So, saan of the 9 would you point to the point as the area of tenderness? Alin dyan sa 9? Alin dyan sa 9? Ha? It's the epigastric. Diba? Pag sinisipura, you point to the epigastric. Kapag, ano tawag nyo doon? Dysmenorrhea, saan yung tinuturo? Saan dyan? Of the 9. Pag nagdi-dysmenorrhea kayo, hypogastric. Diba? So that's the lesser curvature and the greater curvature. Ayun yung parts of cardia. Cardia is the junction of the esophagus with the stomach. Fundus, body, antrum, and the pylorus. Ang tawag dito, this is a sharp notch. That's the angular notch or incisura angularis. Lesser curvature, greater curvature. Now, the blood supply of the stomach is mainly from the celiac artery, which is a direct branch of the aorta. And the corresponding venous drainage, sumusunod lang do sa arterial supply. Pero walang celiac vein. Walang ganun ah. Now, the nerve supply of the stomach comes from cranial nerve number, anong number? 1 to 12. Pili kayo isang number doon. Vagus nerve is number 10. Now, this is the lymphatic drainage. Okay, masindap. Hindi ko pa pa-memorize sa inyo yan. Hindi pa kay surgeons. Or hindi kay surgeons. So as you can see, there are 14 stations. Hindi nyo kailangan memorize ha. Kami lang nagme-memorize yan. Bakit important? When a surgeon does a D1 lymphadenectomy means to remove the lymph nodes during a stomach cancer surgery. Ang tatanggalin lang ng surgeon for a D1 is lymph nodes 1 to 6. Remember, you don't have to memorize all the 14 stations. Kailan ginagawa ang D1? Nakasulat dyan, early gastric cancer and high-risk patients. So, ilan lymph nodes ang tinatanggal? 1 to 6. Ayun, nakalista. But you don't have to memorize. Merong pros at merong con. Ang advantage nun, lower morbidity. Ang disadvantage, na understage. Now, if a surgeon would decide a D2 lymphadenectomy, extended dissection, and since extended, mas marami siyang tatanggalin lymph nodes. So sa D1, ilan ang tinatanggal na lymph node stations? 6. Sa D2, ilan na tatanggalin? Ilan idadagdag? So you add stations 7 to 11. So pag D2, ilan na tinatanggal lahat? Hindi na 6, but 11 na. 11 groups of lymph nodes. 11 stations. Kailan ginagawa ang D2? Andiyan ulit, nakasulat. Pag T2 or node-positive gastric cancer and sa Asian countries. Nakasulat sa baba yung pros and cons. Okay? Pareho tayo ng sequence. Slide ko at saka slide nyo. Pareho lang. So, in summary, kailangan 16 stations ang matanggal. More than 16 or more stations ang matanggal during a lymph node dissection para accurate ang staging. And hindi ginagawa ang D3. So ang ginagawa lang D1 and D2. So again, pag D1, ilang lymph nodes ang tinatanggal? Ilang stations? 6. Pag D2, 11 na. Let's go to physiology. Sino teacher sa physiology? Si Dr. Portion ka pa rin? Hindi na, no? Na-retire na yata. So, a big proportion of the stomach contains the parietal cells. Parietal cell, yan ang nagsisecrete ng acid. Anong klaseng acid? HCl, hydrochloric acid. So if you would look at the table, analyze natin. Analyze natin. Ano sinisecrete ng parietal cells? Dalawa. HCl and intrinsic factor. So let's start with the first disease entity. After 10 o'clock, do you have another class? In this same room? What's your class pag 10 o'clock? After that. So PUD, peptic ulcer disease, is caused by a defect in the gastric or duodenal mucosa. Merong imbalance. 20 or 25 years ago, when I was still a resident, we did a lot of operations for PUD. Opera dito, opera doon. Daming in-opera ng mga ulcer patients. But nowadays, hindi na ako nakaka-opera ng ulcer. Bihirang-bihira na. Siguro the last time I did an ulcer operation was 7 years ago, pre-COVID pa. Bakit hindi na kami nag-opera? Ano kaya reason? In terms of pharmacology, pharmaceuticals pala, pharmaceuticals. Kasi magaganda na yung gamot sa ulcer. If you would take the medicines for ulcer, hindi ka aabot ng operasyon. Nati-treat na yan medically. So anong causes ng PUD? H. pylori, smoking, alcohol, stress. Ano ibig sabihin na NSAIDs? NSAIDs, ano ibig sabihin nun? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Gaya ng mefenamic acid, ibuprofen, ketoprofen, diclofenac, and ZE, which is Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. So among the pathogens, ang na-identify is Helicobacter pylori. And if you have that, mataas ang chance mo that you're going to have PUD. Take note, 70% ng may gastric ulcers are H. pylori positive. And among the tests, ang ginagawa namin dito sa hospital setting, yung panghuli, yung gastric biopsy. Hindi namin ginagawa yung yung stool antigen, urea breath test, hindi namin ginagawa yan. We do the gastric biopsy. Sinasabay yun during endoscopy. So ano manifestations? Remember, ang PUD, merong gastric, saka merong duodenal. 90% have epigastric pain. Kaya pag pumunta yan sa ER, sinisikmura, doon ituturo ng pasyente. Sikmura, epigastric, burning, non-radiating. Duodenal ulcers, the pain occurs 2 to 3 hours after a meal at nagigising ang pasyente sa gabi because of the pain. Okay? Gastric ulcer, hindi gigising ang pasyente sa gabi. Mas sumasakit kapag kumakain. Ay na symptoms, nausea, bloating, weight loss, anemia, and occult GI bleeding. And kung kukunin yung lahat ng pasyente makikita nyo sa ER or sa clinic complaining of epigastric pain, tanungin nyo, umiinom ka ba ng NSAIDs? Are you taking any of these medicines? Okay? So, how do you diagnose a patient with PUD? Of course, hindi ka muna gagawa ng mga invasive tests. Mag-treat ka muna empirically. Bigyan mo muna ng gamot. PPI means proton pump inhibitors. Treat mo muna, lalo na kung pasyente is young or low risk. Bigyan mo ng omeprazole, pantoprazole, esomeprazole. Then, pag persistent pa rin yung symptom, pwede mo na siya i-subject sa upper endoscopy. Yun na yung papasukan ng scope. And of course, you do endoscopy ka na, you do a test for H. pylori, pwede ka na mag-gastric biopsy. Sabay mo na, dun ka na Sabay mo na yung biopsy. And the advantage of doing endoscopy, test mo na rin kung merong malignancy, especially if the patient is older. So far, naiintindihan. Ba't hindi na kami nag-opera ng ulcer ngayon? Gawa ng magaganda na ang gamot. Pag umabot ka sa operasyon, ibig sabihin, pasaway ka. Pasaway kang pasyente, hindi ka uminom ng gamot. Now, this is the modified Johnson classification. Lagi ako nagtatanong yan sa quiz or sa exams. Dali lang yan. Type 1, nasa lesser curvature. O, para, ano tawag natin doon? Mnemonics. So 1, tignan nyo yung kamay ko. 1, lagyan nyo ng ganon, L. Ibig sabihin na L, lesser curvature. Diba? Type 1, lesser curvature. Type 2. Ano type 2? Dalawang location. Duodenal and gastric. Diba? 2. Madali tandaan. 3. Pre-pyloric. O, paano mo i-connect yun? 3 o 3 pyloric. Tandaan nyo na lang yun. 3 pyloric or pre-pyloric. 4, nasa taas. Proximal. So, yun na hindi ko magagawa ng mnemonic eh. Yung 4. Pero ano 4? Paano yung gagawin? Proximal. Okay. Type 5, madali. Type 5 is any location caused by NSAID intake. So, madali, di ba? 1, lesser curvature. 2, dalawang location. 3, pyloric. 4, nasa taas. Proximal. And 5, gawa ng NSAID. Any location. Ngayon, bakit maraming pasyente nagkaka-ulcer? Kasi nag-over the counter na sila. Kasi napapanood natin sa TV yung Alaxan at saka yung Naproxen. Alam niyo ang pasyente, ganito line of thinking eh. Pag masakit ang tuhod, masakit ang siko, or any pain, headache, toothache, bibili yan ng medicine sa Mercury or any drugstore. Sometimes, pag ganitong NSAIDs, hindi kailangan ng prescription eh. OTC tawag doon eh, over the counter. Now, what the patients don't know is the proper dose of these NSAIDs. You know, meron akong pasyente he has a severe osteoarthritis. Ang sakit daw ng tuhod niya. Uminom siya ng, ito yung Naproxen. The dose of Naproxen is 2 times a day. Alam niyo, ininom niya yan 4 times a day. For 2 months. Dire-diretso. Ano nangyari sa kanya? Nasira ang kidney niya to the point na transplant pa siya. Diba? Ang laki ng gastos sa transplant. You're going to spend ₱1 million. Pero kung nagpa-consulta ka lang sa doktor, napakamura ng consultation, i-reseta sa'yo yung tamang dose ng Naproxen. So that's one of the ill effects of advertising. So how do we manage PUD? Una, kung lumalaklak yan ng NSAID, sabihin nyo sa pasyente, tigil nyo muna yung NSAID. And start yun na yung PPI. Meron na kayo, di ba? Pharmacology. You have that subject nung second year pa. Okay. PPI yan yung mga gamot, yung merong prazole. And of course, kung na-discover mo your patient has H. pylori, i-treat mo na rin yung H. pylori. Kasi H. pylori is the causative agent. H stands for, sa H. pylori, Helicobacter. Oh, how do you treat H. pylori? Ang dami na naman, huwag kayo masindak. Ang tandaan nyo na lang, itong may square. Yung pinaka-accepted treatment for H. pylori, which includes erythromycin, triple therapy. So, PPI, kayo mag-recite, basahin nyo. So, ano yung erythromycin triple therapy? PPI, tapos erythromycin, tapos amoxicillin. Ganon kasimple lang ang pag-treat sa H. pylori. Now, yung nasa baba, kapag hindi mag-respond do sa first treatment mo, pwede ka na mag-add ng sucralfate. Sucralfate yung salicylate, sucralfate yan eh. Then you add tetracycline or metronidazole. So ano complications? Ito yung umaabot ng surgery, yung pasaway. Dumudugo, nabubutas, bumabara. Yun yung complication. Tapos pag umabot ka sa yung pang-apat, non-healing, ayaw na gumaling, ulcer mo, you end up with surgery. So yung unang picture, ano kaya yan? Ayan, may sumisirit na dugo. Ano kaya yan? Sa tatlo. Bleeding, perforation, or obstruction. May sumisirit na dugo. Bleeding. Ganyan talaga ang itsura ng ulcer pag dumudugo. Sumisirit yan. Bleeding. Pareho tayo na slides. You have that, di ba? Yung pangalawa. Ano kaya yan? Ayun, nabutas in the stomach. Perforation, nabutas. Yung pangatlo, obstruction. Bumara na. Alam mo, pag nakakita akong ganitong pasyente, pero wala na ngayon eh. Nung araw, pinapagalitan namin yan. Kasi ang dali bumili ng gamot. Mura pa ang gamot ng araw. Then you end up with surgery. Hospital ka, ma-confine ka, ganun ulit, ang laki ng expenses. Okay? So pag meron nag-bleed, galing sa anong artery yun? Galing sa gastroduodenal artery. Kasi yung gastroduodenal artery, kadalasan, yan yung nasa likod ng ulcer. Okay, so ang ginagawa namin doon, kinatahi lang, so figure of 8. In fact, yan ang paborito kong operasyon pag sa ulcer. Pero hindi na ako nakakita niyan eh. Gusto ko yan. Tinatahi lang yung ulcer. Okay. Look at the table. Merong duodenal sa gastric ulcer. Okay, masindak ulit. I just want to show you kung ano yung preferred operation for each of the complications. Ano yung dapat mong gawin? And if you would compare it, pareho lang. Ang duodenal ulcer sa gastric ulcer, pareho lang ang pag-opera. Isa copy niyo PowerPoint na isa inyo, yung may gumagalaw din. Pareho lang tayo. So pag bleeding, oversue lang. Tahiin lang. Whether it's duodenal or gastric. Meron din sa inyo red arrow, lumabas. Okay. Di ko na kailangan yung number 2 and number 3. Just remember the number 1. Pag nabutas, of course, isara mo yung butas, then you patch it. Sara, close the butas, close the perforation, at agpian. Pag nag-obstruct, HSV, highly selective vagotomy, plus gastrojejunostomy. GJ is a gastrojejunostomy, which means idugtong mo yung stomach sa jejunum. Yung fourth indication, intractability, ayaw gumaling, pareho lang. Highly selective vagotomy. Madali intindihin. Tama? You don't have to memorize the number 2 and number 3. Common sense. So, pag dumugo, tahiin lang yung dumudugo. Pag nabutas, tahiin mo lang yung nabutas. Pag nag-obstruct o ayaw gumaling, HSV, which means highly selective vagotomy. Pag nabutas pala ang tawag namin doon sa operation, Graham patch. Pero pang surgery na yan pang surgery residence. Ayan. That's a Graham patch. Sara mo yung butas, tapos lagyan mo ng patch. Tagpian mo ng momentum. Graham patch. Ano yung highly selective vagotomy? Kailan natin ginagawa yon? Kapag nag-obstruct at saka ayaw gumaling. Non-healing. That's when we do highly selective vagotomy. So if you look at the table, the diagram, nakita niyo yung dotted lines. A is, kayo magbasa ka ni A sa dotted lines. A is truncal vagotomy, doon mo puputulin. Sa pinakataas. B is selective, doon mo puputulin sa ibaba ng A kapag nag-branch na after the major trunk. And yung gusto natin maintindihan, HSV is puputulin mo dun sa madaming branches. Ika-cut mo dun sa multiple branches. So kung surgeon ako, ano pinakamadali operahan dyan? A, B, or C? Kung ikaw yung surgeon, ano pinakamadali? Yung isa lang puputulin mo. A. You cut the trunk It's truncal vagotomy. Ano pinakamahirap dyan? C. Kasi ang daming branches Isa-isa mo puputulin yon. Ngayon, alam nyo, pag in-opera yan, hindi yan ganyan, hindi yan kulay yellow pag nag-opera kami, hindi yan colored. Saka hindi yan ganyan kalaki. That's why gagamit na kami ng magnifying glasses. Loops ang tawag namin doon Susuot na kami ng loops. Kasi kailangan ay mo yan zoom out. Kailangan mas kita mo Ang liliit na niyan, it's about the thickness of a hair strand. Kaya kailangan mo mag-loops. Okay, so much for PUD. Let's go to gastric lymphoma. Naintindihan yung PUD? Tapon ba may pasok kayo? Wala, online Hindi kayo pumasok na, Kasi SONA. Nakinig pa kayo sa SONA? Hindi naman kayo nakikinig Ako hindi ako nakikinig sa SONA Ilang presidente na inabutan ko pero hindi ako naniniwala sa mga SONA. Okay. Gastric lymphoma, it's only 4% of the gastric malignancies. So maliit lang yan. And 95% are non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. B cell type. Of the 95% B cell type. And the stomach is the most common site. Okay, nakasulat dyan yung pathogenesis. Usually, nag-start daw as chronic gastritis. Then, meron tinatawag na low-grade lymphoma. Pag low-grade lymphoma, it's hindi yan surgical. How do you treat low-grade lymphoma? Radiation or chemotherapy plus radiation. Hindi in-opera pag low-grade. Pag early stage, radiation. Pag advanced stage, combine mo with chemotherapy. Even for lymphoma in other sites, lymphoma sa head and neck, lymphoma na abdomen, o basta lymphoma in general, hindi yun in-opera. chemotherapy kadalasan. Pag sa other sides. Now, pag high grade, it becomes different. So, ang symptoms niya parang gastric cancer. So, merong fever. Sa gastric cancer pala, walang fever So, merong weight loss, symptoms of bleeding and obstruction. Pero sa high-grade lymphoma, merong fever and night sweat. Pinapawisan paggabi. Paano na-diagnose ang lymphoma? Ang basic palagi sa gastric pathology, whether it's ulcer, lymphoma, and all the other na dadaanan natin, it's always endoscopy with biopsy. Papasukan mo na scope plus biopsy. Okay? And you need other lab tests para ma-stage mo. Para gawa mo na stage 1 o stage 4. Ito yung mga kailangan mo pa. EUS means endoscopic ultrasound. So habang nag-i-scope, sumasabay yung ultrasound. And a CT scan of the chest and abdomen. Okay? Ang treatment sa high grade, chemotherapy plus radiation. Pareho ng low grade. Pareho sa low grade pag advanced stage, di ba? Pero, pag malaki na yung bukol, surgery na yon. Operahan mo na yun pag malaki na, lalo na pag bumabara na o dumudugo. Naintindihan? So, pag low grade, chemotherapy or radiation. Pero pag high grade, pareho din. Chemotherapy, radiation. Pero pag bumara o dumugo, operahan na yan. Remember, kahit anong gastric pathology, pag bumara at dumugo, ino-opera yon. No amount of medicines can treat those. Ganyan ang itsura ng gastric lymphoma. Now, GIST. Now, this one is different. GIST means gastrointestinal stromal tumor. Have you heard of this? O first time yun narinig? GIST. First time? Sa pathology, hindi nyo na-encounter ng GIST. So ano pinagkaiba? So galing yan sa ICC, interstitial cells of Cajal. Hindi yung ICC kay Duterte Ano yun? International Criminal Court. Pero tandaan nyo na rin, ICC. Doon galing ang GIST. Now, how do we diagnose a GIST? Magre-request ang doktor ng sabihin ko na, immunohistochemistry. IHC ang tawag namin dyan And lalabas na result, positive sa c-KIT or CD117. Lalabas yun sa report. Positive for CD117. Okay? So, ang symptoms, pareho lang. Bleeding, madaling mabusog, abdominal pain, weight loss. And ito, yung GIST, kumakalat sa liver. And being a GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor, 2/3 of this located sa stomach. So, diagnosis, paano ko magda-diagnose? Aside from the IHC, positive for ano? CD117 or c-KIT. Ganun pa rin, endoscopy with biopsy. Kailangan mo pa rin pasukan ng scope yung pasyente at mag-biopsy ka. Okay? And samahan mo palagi ng CT scan of the abdomen and pelvis. We don't recommend yung percutaneous biopsy, yung tutusok ka sa balat, papunta sa loob. Kasi kakalat lang yung tumor. Okay, iba ang operasyon sa GIST. Pag sa GIST, tatanggalin mo lang yung bukol, resect it with negative margin. You don't have to remove a larger part of the stomach. Just remove the bukol, just remove the mass. Okay? So, tignan niyo yung slides niyo ulit, tignan niyo yung diagram. So, ito yung normal stomach. So, kung ang GIST niya andun sa fundus, ayun ay nakaumbok, yun lang ang putulin mo. Kung nasan yung part na nakaumbok, nasa fundus. Kung andun siya sa lesser curvature, tanggalin mo lang yung bukol sa lesser curvature, then isara mo na. It's an easy operation. Para ka lang nagtanggal ng bukol sa subcutaneous tissue, yung mga lipoma, ganun kasimple lang yun. You don't have to remove half of the stomach or the entire stomach. Just remove the second with a negative margin. So tingnan natin yung risk stratification. Analyze nyo from very low risk to high risk. Analyze nyo. Oh, ano napansin nyo? From very low risk to high risk. With regards to size, ano nangyayari? From very low to high? Lumalaki size. With regards to number of mitosis, anong napansin nyo? From very low to high, mas dumadami yung mitosis. Okay? So aside from the end block resection, from the resection with negative margin, may gamot na binibigay if you have proof that this patient has GIST. Ang pangalan ng gamot, imatinib. Nandiyan nakasulat, imatinib. Now let's go to the gastric neuroendocrine tumors. Now, ito, rare ito Bihira rin ako maka-encounter. Wala pa yata ang kita nito It arises from the enterochromaffin-like cells. Analyze natin ulit yung tables. So there are 3 types of neuroendocrine tumors. Analyze nyo. Alin sa kanila ang pinaka-common? 1, 2, or 3? Look at the table. 1. Alin sa kanila ang associated sa chronic gastritis? 1. Alin dito ang isa lang pag na-discover? Solitary, yung 3. Pero alin dito ang mabilis mag-spread, o mabilis kumalat, mabilis mag-metastasize? Yung 3. So diagnosis ng, how do you diagnose? Ganun pa rin. Endoscopy with biopsy. Ganun pa rin Now, aside from that, kailangan mo na nung gastrin. Gastrin and the gastric pH. Imaging na kailangan mo. Imaging in radiology. Imaging kailangan mo na ng CT scan and octreotide scan. Okay? Pag type 1 o type 2 at maliit lang, EMR or monitor mo lang. EMR means endoscopic mucosal resection. Maliit lang ng type 1 at type 2. Pag malaki, mas malaki sa 2 cm, operahan na yan. wide excision, or a limited gastrectomy. You don't have to remove the entire stomach, ha? Pero pag type 3, gastrectomy na yan. So far, naintindihan. Pagulo na ng pagulo, no? Ang dami nang i-absorb. Let's go to the next. After nito, mag-break muna tayo, to rest your brains. Break tayo ng 5 minutes. Gastric leiomyoma. So from the word itself, leiomyoma, that means it's benign. Pag nakarinig na kayo ng adenocarcinoma, sarcoma, that's malignant. So itong gastric leiomyoma, galing sa smooth muscle tumor, as a smooth muscle ng stomach. Usually, submucosal, nasa ilalim ng mucosa, at hindi yan malignant. Kadalasan, ang pasyente asymptomatic, lalo na if it's less than 2 cm. Pero pag lumaki na yan o nag-ulcerate, parang gastric, parang peptic ulcer disease din. Pwedeng dumugo, pwedeng bumara, and patient would become symptomatic. Diagnosis ng leiomyoma, it's endoscopy with biopsy. Ganun pa rin. I-edit nyo na lang, Diagnosis is fine needle aspiration biopsy. Of course, with endoscopy. Hindi mo naman mabiopsy yan without the endoscopy. Sa IHC, ang makikita doon, actin and desmin. Ang makikita mo. Kasi pag lumabas sa IHC mo, sa tissue staining mo, lumabas ay CD117, hindi yan leiomyoma. Ano yon? Pag CD117, GIST yun. So, makikita mo doon, actin and desmin. So, paano ino-opera? Kung maliit lang sa 2 cm, how do you address? If it's less than 2 cm o asymptomatic, pwedeng observe, surveillance. Kung gusto mo, enucleate. Wedge resection. Pero pag symptomatic at mas malaki sa 2 cm, wedge resection na yon. Enucleate. Sabihin nun, tanggalin mo lang yung pinakabukol. Hindi mo kailangan ng margins. Okay, next is ZES. Ito yung Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Now, it's caused by a gastrinoma. Pero ang kakaiba sa gastrinoma or Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, hindi siya located sa stomach. Mostly sa duodenum or sa pancreas. So ang presentation ng pasyente, PUD, diarrhea, at saksakan ng taas yung gastrin level. So how do we diagnose? Gastrin is a blood test, So yung blood test niya, yung gastrin blood test is more than 1,000. Ano ibig sabihin ng PG? Tignan ko nga kung alam nyo. PG per ml. PG means, kung you Google, picogram. It's picogram. Napakaliit na yun, Mas maliit pa yun sa nanogram, picogram. And yung gastric pH niya is less than 2. pH less than 2, Remember, ang pH, the lower the pH, the more acidic, di ba? The higher the pH, more alkaline. So, paano nahahanap to? Paano nalolocalize? Ito yung kanina ko pa binabanggit, yung octreoscan. It's a somatostatin receptor scintigraphy. Octreoscan na lang. EUS, MRI. EUS, nasabi ko na yun. Endoscopic ultrasound. How do you treat this? Kung medical, PPI. Pero most of the time, nauwi din sa surgery, ganun din, wide resection of the gastrinoma. Of course, kailangan pa rin ng, basta stoma ka, kailangan mo pa rin ng endoscopy. Kailangan magpasok pa rin ng scope and do a biopsy. Now, mag-focus muna tayo sa gastrinoma lang. Gastrinoma. It's a gastrin-secreting neuroendocrine tumor causing the ZES. So, ang location ng gastrinoma, tignan nyo kakaiba, hindi porket andun yung word ng gastri, stomach. The most common location is duodenum. Susunod, pancreas. And yung gastrinoma is associated with MEN1. Natatandaan nyo yung table kanina, yung MEN1, 2, and 3. MEN means multiple endocrine neoplasia. So, ang triad ng gastrinoma, peptic ulcer, nagtatae, at saksakan ng taas ang gastrin level. Ilan yon? More than 1,000 picograms per ml. So, paano ma-diagnose? Pareho lang ng kanina. Yung serum gastrin, mas mataas sa 1,000. Gastric pH, mas mababa sa 2. Tapos, octreoscan, CT MRI. Ito, pwede mong gawa ng secretin stimulation test. Pero hindi namin ginagawa clinically yan eh. Of course, yun nakikita yung image. That's a CT scan. So, ang treatment, combination of medical and surgical. High-dose PPI, and you resect. Kung merong mass, you resect it. Intermission muna tayo.